This week we're racing headfirst back into the Absolute Universe with Absolute Flash Volume 1, a completely different take on the fastest man alive that throws everything you thought you knew about Wally West out the window. This isn't just another trip around a Speed Force. Absolute Flash brings a darker, grittier and more unpredictable version of the Scarlet Speedster, and I'm here to find out whether this bold new take can really live up to the Flash name. And what better beer to pair with a comic this chaotic than a sour that sounds like it has absolutely no interest in taking things slowly. Welcome to Craft Beer Comics. Welcome Scarlet Speedsters and craft beer lovers to another episode of Craft Beer Comics. I am your host Harry, and this week we are going to be checking out Absolute Flash Volume 1 of Two Worlds by Jeff Lemire, Nick Robles, A.L. Kaplan, Adriano Lucas and Chris Sotomayor. I'm very excited for this one. I'm really excited for this one. Unfortunately, it was one that kind of dropped off my radar. I'm a massive Flash fan. I have been since I was a kid. I started in New 52 with Flash Volume 1 from back then. I read the New 52 run and then was like, I should probably go back. So I went back, read Rebirth, read all of Jeff Johns' run. I read some of Mark Waid's run. I read the one where Black Flash is introduced, and I read all through Rebirth. I've read the newer stuff, and then I kind of dropped off. So the last Flash volume I read was, I think it was Volume 20, Time Heist. That was before, that was kind of like a reboot type thing, and then I don't know who the new person is, but I know it's called, the latest volume's like Volume 1, Strange Attractors. I didn't read that one. Main reason being, I kind of got really into X-Men, and I'm not made of money, to be honest, and Volume 20 was the end of like an era before starting something new, and I thought, you know what, now's kind of a good time to get off the train. So for now, I've gotten off of the mainline Flash train, unfortunately. But Absolute Universe, they obviously announced like, oh, we're going to be doing Absolute Batman and then Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman. Great, I'm sure they'll be great comics. And you know what they turned out, all three of them were great. And then they said, oh yeah, and we're also doing Flash, Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter. And I was like, oh, okay, now you're speaking my language. So I've got Absolute Green Lantern. Those were the first ones I've got. I've got Volume 1 and Volume 2. Up to date on that. Martian Manhunter. I've got Volume 1. Volume 2 comes out in August. Yeah, I mean, it's still July when I'm recording this, so I think it comes out in August. So I've got a little while to wait. And then Absolute Flash Volume 1 and 2 are both out. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a little look at eBay. Have a little shop around. See who's offering it for cheap or who's taking best offers. So I think I got this one for like, I think it was 10 quid including shipping, which I was pretty chuffed with. I thought that was pretty good. And it's basically like new condition. I'm just going to get straight into this. So, straight off the bat, Jeff Lemire. He's a pretty good writer. He's done some really good stuff. And I don't think he's done Flash before. And I was sort of like, okay, we'll see how he does. So, yeah, I was expecting big things from this. But straight off the bat, I'm not going to read the blurb. You can go read the blurb for yourself. It's effectively just the same blurb as every other Volume 1 of Absolute Universe, which is, it's the Flash, but he's got no family, he's got no Speed Force, he's got no mentor, he's just the Flash. What I found slightly odd about this, it's Wally West, which is fine. I think the thing with the Flash is, in a similar way to Green Lantern, there's loads of people who are called the Flash. You got Jay Garrick, Barry Allen, Wally West, Bart Allen. You know, there's it's not just one guy. Multiple people have been called the Flash. I just kind of presumed it would be Barry Allen, because he's the one that's kind of been leading the way for the past 10, 15 years or so. You know, especially with CW, that was focused on Barry Allen. The Flash movie, which we shall not talk about. What a shit show. That was unfortunately Barry Allen, apparently. And then he's been the main Flash in the Flash comics since New 52. I think it changed it up towards the end of Rebirth. I want to say Wally took it on more. But Wally was a big thing in the 90s and early 2000s. Barry Allen was obviously dead, and Wally was the Flash. He was the Flash in Justice League Unlimited. He had a massive comic run with Jeff Johns. Great comic run, by the way. So I saw this as Wally, and I was like, okay. Odd. Maybe odd. We'll see. He's also young. He's very young in this. He's a teenager. I think he's 17. I'm not sure. But anyway, let's get into it. I've been mucking around for long enough. This comic just goes straight into it. You've got Wally West just having a bit of a meltdown, to be honest. Clearly not in control of his powers. Lightning going everywhere. Really into rectangles, this comic. Really into red rectangles. You know, when speedsters run, you usually kind of see lightning coming off of them and everything's very blurred in whatever colour scheme their costume's in. When Wally runs, there's like red rectangles that just kind of surround him, which is odd. I'm not sure if I like it too much. I think it's okay. It's different. It's certainly putting a style on it, but I don't know if I like it more than lightning. It's weird. It feels kind of random. You've got lightning and then you've got the rectangles. I don't know. Maybe that'll be explained in volume 2. But anyway, yeah, straight into it, you learn that Wally's mum is dead. Wally's dad is in the military, and he's basically just a military brat kid getting into trouble, going places he shouldn't be going. He's got no friends. He's constantly bouncing around. And his only kind of friend, I'm going to say loosely, is Barry Allen, who's a scientist working on this military base that's making weapons. But Barry is like head of making super weapons, I guess. First issue, you learn that Wally's on the run. He's got powers, seemingly from an accident, and the rogues are after him. This universe, rogues seem kind of the good guys, and the rogues are made of Captain Cold, Captain Boomerang, the Trickster, and Golden Glider. Yeah, how he basically gets his powers is him and his dad, Wally and his dad, have a big argument. He's like, I'm going off. And then he goes off to find Barry to have a, I don't know, vent session, I guess. And Barry's in some sort of odd Flash costume in like a bubble. And there's lightning, there's things swirling. He's like, Wally, don't come in. And Wally's like, I'm going to come in. And he comes in and shit kind of blows up. Wally gets caught in like a, I don't know, some sort of weird swooshy red rectangle storm and seemingly vanishes. Wally's dad comes in and is like, Barry, what did you do? God damn it. And starts beating up Barry Allen. And then Wally like rematerializes and then loses control of his powers and pretty much blows up and kills Barry. That's that. But what's interesting is Barry says a lot of things like, look at me, focus on me, stay here with us, focus, blah, blah, blah. Something else I've noticed as I'm looking at this, there's like a face next to Wally's face in the Speed Force-esque energy. So I'm wondering if there's someone else trapped in there. Anyway, Barry dead, Wally on his own. He's being hunted by the rogues. As this comic goes along, you learn that, yeah, Barry's there to make super dudes for the military, I guess. Other super dudes that are in this facility include Heatwave, who's a member of the rogues, and something called Project Wizard, which is obviously Weather Wizard, who is another rogue. There's a big splash page where you see all these broken containment units. There's also one called Project XXXXX, so I'm not really sure who that is. And then one I'm really excited for, Project Firestorm. So we know that in this universe there is a Firestorm. I love fucking Firestorm. He was my second episode on this channel. I just think he's such a cool character. I don't know why. I think it's because he's got like a classic 80s kind of look to him, the shoulder pads and his head's on fire. It's just cool. I just look at him like, god damn, that guy's cool, isn't he? He's got cool powers and the whole thing of like two guys sharing a body. Yeah, it just works for me. I think it's cool. So yeah, knowing he's in the Absolute Universe, very exciting. I think The Flash is one of those comics, for the Absolute Universe at least, that's going to be setting up other heroes in the Absolute Universe. I know that at Comic-Con recently, it was announced that Absolute Cyborg is coming. I think he's coming through The Flash. And Absolute Atom is also coming. And he is going to be in like issue 20 of The Flash. And is going to be like a mentor to Wally, but not a very good one. So I'm really excited for that. The Atom's another character I love. We also meet Gorilla Grodd, Absolute Gorilla Grodd, who is a tiny green monkey with telepathy. And that is oddly okay. He's like best mates with Wally. They escape together. Best friends. Monkey and Speed Boy. It's good. As this goes on, you're learning more about what they were doing at this facility. The woman who's in charge of it is like Eleanor Thorne. For Flash fans, the big sort of Flash villain is the Reverse Flash, who's called Eobard Thorne. Eleanor Thorne is his ancestor, because Eobard's from the future, of course. There's a lot of time travel in the Flash, but she's heading up this operation, so that's cool. We've got a little Reverse Flash. thing going on there. Yeah, long story short, he has like no control over his powers. He keeps seeing like visions of dead Barry. And dead Barry very much looks like Black Flash, who is a villain, I guess, of the Flash. His thing's kind of like, the speedsters are so fast they can outrun death. So the Black Flash is there to be the Grim Reaper for speedsters. That's kind of how I remember it from years ago. I might be wrong, they might have changed it, but that's what I remember. Anyway, Barry really looks like that when he has these visions, so I'm wondering if that's where this is going. But Wally goes on the run with tiny green Gorilla Grodd. He's obviously a little homeless boy, so he goes to like a soup kitchen where he meets this tall ginger fella and his wife, and also a kid called Linda. For those of you who are Flash fans of Wally West, Linda is Wally's wife, who he has 2 kids with. And they are also superpowered kids, and it's kind of cool. But yeah, the tall ginger fella is Ralph Dibny, also known as the Elongated Man, which is pretty much a Plastic Man ripoff, or a Mr. Fantastic ripoff. It's kind of like Plastic Man and Mr. Fantastic and kind of Batman, maybe the question. All 4 of them got together and had a baby somehow, and it was Elongated Man. But anyway, he's in this, and he's got no powers. He's just a dude. He's just a dude with a house full of homeless kids. So take that as you will. But yeah, this comic kind of leaves off with you're learning more about Barry. Barry basically created all the tech that the rogues are now using. He was experimenting with, speed shit. But all the tech Barry's got is really like futuristic. And the rogues say, where did this come from? And then there's a flashback to 1944 where there's some sort of energy explosion-y thing happening and a lad falls into it. As the lad's falling, the lad behind him's like, "Oh, Garrick, wait." Obviously referencing Jay Garrick, the first Flash. The best Flash, in my opinion, with that little hat. Oh, it's fucking sick. I love Jay Garrick. But he's fallen into it. My predictions for where this is going is Barry and Jay Garrick, possibly Max Mercury, who's another Flash. They're all trapped in, the absolute versions of the Speed Force, and they want to get out, I guess. It's weird with this first volume, because there's not a lot to it, but there's loads going on. Like, you're seeing Wally's powers and how they're different to mainline Wally and mainline Barry, and you're learning more about the rogues, which I think I'm like the most, kind of at the moment, the most interesting part of this, because they're like ex-military. They did some sort of black ops mission gone wrong, and they were kind of like exiled basically on war crimes, and now they're back and they got gadgets. It's all kind of cool. The Flash has an excellent rogues gallery in general, so I'm really, really excited to see what they do with it. This comic ends with Wally calling his dad to probably be like, "Can I come home, please, without being shot?" And then Eleanor Fawn puts a bag over his head, over Wally's dad's head, and drags him away. And Wally's on the phone like, "Dad, where are you?" And then it ends. So that's that. That's volume 1. It's a really strong volume. As I say with all volume 1s or issue 1s, a lot of the time they are just like setting up. So you don't really get into the nitty-gritty of the story because you're setting the scene. So volume 2 will hopefully get more into the nitty-gritty, and I'm definitely going to get volume 2 because I really like this. The art, Absolute Universe are nailing it with the art. They're doing a great job. My complaints with DC recently have been that the art's really safe and really boring and flat. This, whilst I'd say not the most exciting out of the Absolute line itself, it's at least there's some character to it. Finally. Like, I know that one massive benefit of the Absolute Universe has DC has said to their creatives, "Here you go, here's a character, you've put forward a pitch, we like it, it's yours, do what you want, have fun." And they're having fun, and I'm having fun. It's bright, it's colourful, it's great. They're going all out. I mean, like I said, I find the red rectangles kind of weird instead of lightning, or the lightning's toned down and you've got rectangles instead. That's kind of odd. There's almost a kind of like a manga-esque feel to it in some issues. But I think they've got a couple of different artists on this. But they're all doing a good job. I like it. The new Flash costume, it's alright. It's not... I don't think it's necessarily like iconic, and I'm hoping they don't stick with it for the entire run. because I don't know. It's not doing it for me personally. I think there are better Flash designs. It's kind of like he's got a 3/4 length jacket. The logo's okay. The logo's fine, and then it's red, white, and black, which is okay. That's fine. It's all right. I'm personally a fan of the red and yellow, or just the red and white. There's a lot of black, and I think the red and the white are then the accents on top of the black, which is okay. It's different. It's different to any mainline Flash, that's for sure. And I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe I'll see him using the suit more, and it'll grow on me. But at the moment, it's kind of a very mid costume. It's okay. The covers for this are okay. The mainline covers are fairly basic. I wouldn't say there's anything, too great. Absolute Flash issue 1 cover by Nick Robles is sick. And then all the covers kind of just continue to be fairly generic covers. They look good and they look cool, but nothing too special about them. Although the Absolute Flash issue 4 variant cover by Andrew McLean, I really like it. I don't know what it is about it, but I really like it. It just looks cool. The variant covers for this are pretty sick. Absolute Flash variant cover by Clayton Crane, very cool. I think we need to have a word with Raphael Albuquerque, because he's done a variant cover where it looks like he's running in the same stupid ass way that Ezra Miller runs in the Flash movie, and it's got the blue lightning, and everyone hates that film. Everyone hates Ezra Miller. He did a shit job as the Flash. That film's fucking awful. I'd rather we didn't reference it in a good Flash comic. Thank you very much. The other one I really like is Absolute Flash second printing variant cover by Gerald Powell. That one's really cool. I always like Flash art where the main place where Flash is too blurry, you can't see him, but you see him in reflections of car windows and mirrors and everything else. That's really cool. And then there's a variant cover for Flash 6 by David Talaski where he's racing a train. That's cool as well. I like that one. Very cool. Going forward with this, I hope they do more with a character called Mirror Master. He's one of the rogues in the mainline universe. In this, he has a really tiny cameo at the end of Flash issue 1, where he basically comes out and he's like, show me Project Olympus, and this is 1 year later. And it shows you, he's looking at a couple of monitors, and there's a load of green gorillas doing stuff. It's Wally trying on a costume. There's Heatwave, and he's a big tar monster. There's people experimenting. There's Wally and Gorilla Grodd communicating. So that could be really cool if they do more with him. He's one of my favourite Flash villains. So I really hope he gets a cool Absolute version. So yeah, I've jabbered on about that for 20 minutes now. Absolute Flash, Volume 1, 9 out of 10. Loved it. Big fan. 100% going to get a second volume. The art's got style to it. It's got substance. With a character like the Flash, you need the colours. You need the cool looks to things. And it feels like a different character. It's stupid because when you read a Flash comic, you want to read a Flash comic. But this is the Flash, but not as you know him. You might love Wally West, but you might not love this Wally West. You love the Rogues, but this is the Rogues, but their way of thinking is completely different to the mainline universe. It's familiar and it's comforting, but it's completely different and refreshing. And Jeff Lemire and all the artists and colorists involved in this have done an absolutely fantastic job at bringing this new version of the Flash to life. So that's a 9 out of 10 from me. Now for the beer, I wanted something really, really punchy and red. I'm going to level with you. I wanted it to be red because the Flash is red. My decision hasn't gone much further than that. So this week, the beer is Death by Cherries from Vocation Brewery. I think this is a special edition beer, 4.5%, comes in a 440ml can. Let me read you a little description for this. A mouth-wateringly jammy, kettle-soured fruit beer, full to the brim with black cherries for an intense, rich, sweet and sour brew, as vibrant in flavour as it is in colour and refreshing to the very end. Taste notes. Taste notes are rich, jammy and tart. don't really know if they're taste notes or just like observations. It's got actual cherries in it, which is always a bonus. There are a lot of beers that say they're a flavour, and then you look at the ingredients and that flavour is actually nowhere to be seen. So Death by Cherries, if you're calling it that, it better have cherries in it, and it does, which is great. It's got a really dark, like blood red look to it, which doesn't sound very appetizing, but it looks great. It looks really nice. Cherry's one of those flavours that you find used quite a lot in sours. I reviewed a Polly's cherry sour. I think it's because the flavour of cherry is it's great. Cherry's great. You can use it on all sorts of things. It goes well with chocolate. It goes well with pastry. It's a very desserty flavour. This beer isn't one which you'd probably have back to back. I think you feel really sick. But as like a little treat, or if you're having a couple of different craft beers and you got one of these in between, it works nicely. It works really, really nicely. It is sour. It's a fruit sour, but it's not too bad. I'd say on a scale from 1 to 5, it's probably about 3.5. It's very easy. It's very easy to drink. You're getting that sour tang that you want from something like this, and it definitely tastes of cherries. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, a cherry's farted in my mouth after a weird beer taste. Nope. Straight away, bosh, cherry. Shove that in your gob. Delicious. Really good. Allergens for this are just malted barley, wheat and oats. It says it uses an extra pale malt, but truth be told, I don't really know what that means. I don't think I've covered Vocation Brewery yet on the podcast, but they've got some really cool beers. They do a lot of kind of normal flavours, I guess. Just normal like IPAs and lagers, and they do a Belgian wheat beer with not like wacky flavours. But then they do like a white chocolate and raspberry chocolate stout, which I really want to try. That sounds great. I've had some of those before. I can't remember what, but I definitely had one before, and that was great. I'm looking at this now, and they've got a pastry DIPA made with American hops, and that label's calling to me. I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but you absolutely can, and I absolutely am. That looks pretty cool, actually. But yeah, I should probably talk about a label for this one. Black label. Picture on the front of a cherry. Well, I don't know, it's like 2 cherries, but they're connected to one stem. But the cherries are skulls, and they're bright red and shiny. Fuck yeah. That's metal as fuck. It's pretty cool. I like it. And it says Death by Cherries in a very like Friday the 13th kind of font. Very basic, very minimalist, not a lot going on, but it's cool, it's eye-catching, and it shows you what you're getting, to be honest. They've got great labels, Vocation Brewery. They've got really cool ones. That American one I just mentioned, it's like very 80s Miami, pinks and light blues, some purples, and then like yellows, the font, and it's very cool and of the age, and then the white chocolate and raspberry has got like chocolate lips biting the bottom lip, so it's all seductive and stuff. And then you got the raspberry, and there's like a love heart, and it's all very intricate. And yeah, they do a great job with their labels, Vocation. They really do. Very cool. Vocation, I think you can get them from the shop, just like your supermarket. I think I got this one from, I think I got it from Asda, but I'm pretty sure they do it in Sainsbury's, Tesco, Morrison's, wherever you get good craft beer, as well as you your local craft beer tap rooms and such. I'm just going through their list of beers now, and they do some bangers from the looks of it. It looks like that chocolate stout's like a whole range. Oh wow, a peach and cardamom Weizen. I don't know what that is, but that sounds sick. Ooh, Jamageddon, strawberry and vanilla pastry stout. Yes, please. Oh, and they do a gift pack. Oh, I'm a sucker for a gift pack, to be honest. Anything which includes a glass that's branded and a couple of beers. Oh, I'm down. Neon Raptor's doing one, and I'm really tempted to get it. But that's a complete fucking tangent from me. Anyway, Death by Cherries from Vocation Brewery. It's a 9 out of 10 again. This has been a double 9 out of 10 episode. What a rarity. This beer's great. It's good. It's great. It's a delicious little sour. Tasty little number. That brings us to the end of another episode of Craft Beer Comics. Absolute Flash Volume 1. Amazing. Fantastic. It's the Flash as you've never seen him before, and that sounds like a bollocksy marketing slogan, but it's absolutely true. It's familiar enough to know that it's the Flash. It's got all the characters you recognise, but they're completely flipped on their head, and everything's just kind of wild. It's great. It's a great setting up volume. I can't wait to read more. The beer this week, Death by Cherries from Vocation Brewery, another 9 out of 10. Double whammy. It's great. It's got that cherry flavour straight off the bat. It doesn't hold back. You know what you're getting. It's called Death by Cherries. You're going to get cherry, and it's going to be tangy enough for you to go, oh, you know what, that is sour. But you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it. You're not going to be feeling sick unless you have like 4 back-to-back, in which case that's on you. I have been your host, Harry. It's my pleasure to bring you this episode, so please remember to subscribe, like, share with your friends. It really, really helps. And we will catch you next time on Craft Beer Comics.